switching gears, this came to mind. We're 2 months away from National Signing Day. So it's mid-October, whatever that date is in December. It's a Wednesday. It's around the 15th to 20th. So we're only about 2 months away. How is this class looking at this point?
Well, it's still kind of stuck on 8 commitments right now. In a class where they're only taking 13, so they're being extremely selective right now. And quite frankly, they've been super busy. And then with a bye week coming up next week, the coaches will be out on the road recruiting, and things right now have been more of a focus on the 2023 and 2024 classes, quite frankly, because like I just mentioned, this class is kind of a washout as far as, only taking 13 guys. I think you're looking more adding guys through the transfer portal and some JUCO add-ons maybe down the road. But, you're not, don't look for Nebraska to be anywhere near, a top 25 recruiting rankings team this year just because of the numbers. They're just not going to allow it. So I think, right now is they've been doing their evaluations. They've been sending out offers to guys that they need. And, there's just key positions that they're looking to fill right now. And they're not at all worried about it, they feel very comfortable where they're at right now. But it's just not going to be a big splash of a year in recruiting for Nebraska right now, just because you do have just a log jam of guys on the roster right now.
So, Dan, I'm not really understanding here, so we may have miscommunicated, but he says, last week you said, Mark, that you would be extremely surprised, in quotes, if Nebraska was anywhere close to Michigan during the fourth quarter. So were you extremely surprised when Nebraska was close in the fourth quarter? You would have to pull that clip from last week, but I'm almost positive I said I would be extremely surprised if they were not close in the fourth quarter, because I took Nebraska in the points, and it was only about 3.5 or 4 points. So I anticipated an extremely close game.
Yeah,
I anticipated a close one, and we got a close one, and it was a great one. Other than Nebraska coming up short.
Oh, Michigan fans liked it.
Yes. I say that with our Husker fans here. We've got a Texas Tech fan who is reliving 2004.
Yeah, that was pretty ugly.
Now,
thank God that was the year I moved to Nashville, so I wasn't even in Lincoln in 2004.
I remember that score just because how do you not remember that score, especially when it's not Nebraska doing that to another team in the Big 12? But that's only a couple years after they were spending time in the top 5 in the country.
Right, but that was, it was such a bizarre time because it was basically the end of the Frank Solich era. And I remember, for the first time in my life, I would see, Nebraska losing at home to like Kansas State. Getting bludgeoned by Kansas State. This wasn't even 2004 yet. And seeing the Memorial Stadium basically empty at the end of the third quarter. I never thought I would ever see that in my life. And that's just kind of the way things kind of went there back there in kind of the years of the end of the Frank Solich era that, I don't know. That's for the historians to kind of think about what happened, what went wrong there. But that Texas Tech, that was something that you never ever imagined happened in Nebraska, because everybody grew up watching Nebraska beat teams like Minnesota 70-10. So yeah, that was just something hard to swallow for anybody that followed Nebraska.
Yeah, they had, of course, gone to the national championship game at the Rose Bowl against Miami in 2001. And then the 2002 team, the way that 2001 team performed down the stretch against Colorado and in the championship game was kind of a precursor to going 7-7 the next year.
Yeah.
That team lost to Ole Miss. I remember that game, Eli Manning in the Independence Bowl. And then the next year they bounced back to 10-3, beat Michigan State in the Alamo Bowl. And then our guy here is referring to the 04 season and a 5-6 campaign and 70-10, against Texas Tech that particular year. All right, let's get back to 2021. We know what the answer is to this. Although I got to say, since you made your prediction that if correct me if I'm wrong, Nebraska would beat Wisconsin, Iowa to finish the season. Obviously, that was in the preseason, and Iowa's showing us something.
Yeah, I mean, Iowa was definitely one of the. I mean, obviously, after beating Penn State, you have to admit Iowa must be one of the top teams in the country, and they're playing at a really high level right now. But yeah, do I think Nebraska can upset them? Sure, they can. The game's here again. Like it's another home game, and Nebraska playing the way they're playing, and again playing a team that's had their number. This is Nebraska, a proud group of guys that they want to beat Iowa, especially these seniors that are going out. It's funny to say these 6-year seniors that they're hungry to beat teams like Iowa and Wisconsin and Minnesota right now. And like we just said, Nebraska is playing at a level where they could beat anybody on any given Saturday right now. And I know we skipped over a question there about Adrian Martinez coming back, and it's kind of funny because I was thinking about that yesterday during the Monday press conference because he'd been asked the question about the pressure and kind of being that guy, being the scapegoat basically, and is it worth it? And Adrian's, like we've mentioned a lot of times, he's such a mature guy, and he's like, he's like, yeah, it is worth it, and I think he really likes what he's doing, and the question is, I mean, does he want to put up with this again? Being the guy that takes the blame week in and week out, and just reading his face and the way he answers questions and stuff like that, I don't think he's fazed by it one way or the other. And I think he's going to make a decision that's best for him. And that's going to depend on, these last 5 games of the year and hopefully a 6th game of the year, and how he can finish out the season. And if he does well and is projected, as an NFL draft pick guy, then I think he moves on. Or if he's not projected as an NFL guy and he still believes that he has that kind of talent, then he comes back and does it again next year, and hopefully improves his stock status. So who knows right now? And he doesn't know right now. I mean, because he's 100% fixed on Minnesota right now, and as he should be. And he's a proud leader of this team, and I know every single player on that team believes in him and believes in his ability, and they all think that he is the right guy to lead them.